So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Big news today. Headline this afternoon actually. Dominic and Genevieve Hadid have been ordered to be immediately released by the courts after spending 22 days in custody since their arrest on June 24th. In a virtual ruling delivered today, the couple was placed under house arrest and must remain at their home on Pine Avenue, Bayshore, Westmoreland. In addition to being fitted with ankle monitor, the couple must surrender their passport and other travel document, all firearm in their possession, and all communication device. They are not to communicate with persons outside the address, either directly or indirectly, and they are also not permitted to have visitors at the address without prior approval of the Commissioner of Police. Only approved medical and legal practitioners and or caregivers may enter the property. They must allow authorized member of the TTPS to enter their premises at reasonable time to conduct inspections and confirm compliance with the condition. Should either party breach any of the condition, he or she will be liable to detention under the respective prevention detention order. Speaking today, Attorney Faraz Al-Rawi stated that the Hadid had been suffering. Listen to this.
We've just received the judgment of the panel. The president of the panel was Mr. Justice of Appeal Raj Kumar. It's fresh off the plate. We are en route to the prisons now. The judges have ordered the immediate release of our clients under supervision. Effectively, let me call it home detention. So there are conditions to be worked out. We expect that this matter is not at an end. We will be back in court tomorrow. We expect that there may be applications made today by the state, and therefore we continue to work to ensure that justice prevails in this matter.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's have a discussion tonight. 238-6716 is the number to call in on our program live. So viewers, with this order being sent down to the Hadid, according to Faris, they have been suffering. So my question is, what about the other individuals who were under the PDOs? Are they not suffering? This is my question. So now Trinidad and Tobago, all the individuals who have been held under the PDO, are they also have the option where their friends or family can hire an attorney and present this matter to court also? So when I saw this today, I was like, wow, this just opened a can of worms in Trinidad and Tobago. The courts immediately ordered their release. So if an individual is being held under a PDO, as the Hadid was, those who are in custody, can they hire an attorney and file a motion in court and then go to the appeal board for an answer? Can this happen now, Trinidad and Tobago? Is a can of worm being opened? Is a can of worm is being opened with this release? Others might fear to ask, but I am going to ask. I am going to ask. Can other detainees do the same thing like the Hadid did? And will they be released also under house arrest with an ankle bracelet? This is my question. So now I am asking this question now, what type of power does the preventative detention order has? And that is my concern. What kind of power does this document has? Because if the appeal court could tell the state to release the Hadid immediately from prison, what type of power does that document have? So I'm going to ask this now. What kind of authority does Roger Alexander has? I want to let you keep in mind, this is a PDO. I also want you to keep in mind, we are not casting judgment, you know. It's just that questions need to be answered now. So if Roger Alexander now issue a PDO for an individual, and his family is not okay with that, can they retain an attorney and carry before the court? This is what I'm asking. So how many individuals now under the PDO now is going to be sent home under house arrest? I want you to understand. To assassinate government ministers. That is what this whole thing was based on. To allegedly assassinate government ministers. So I am just asking the question, not every right-thinking citizen would ask because they may not understand what took place. But I am asking the question, the individuals who are under the PDO presently, do they have the same opportunity as the Hadid? They are suffering too. They are incarcerated just like the Hadid was. This raises a lot of questions. Well, for me, it raises questions. I don't know for the lawyers, I don't know for the police officers, I don't know for judges, I can't say for magistrates, but it raises questions. It raises questions. Is Roger Alexander being override? Just saying. How strong is the PDOs? Just saying. So if the Hadid could be immediately released and be placed on house arrest with all the rules and regulation, therefore, according to my thinking and what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, another detainee could hire a lawyer, and I guess the same ruling will goes down to him also. I'm just saying. I'm asking her questions. Let me tell you something. You see, after today, what I am asking tonight will be asked in the public domain tomorrow after they watch the show. This is our only rules here. Confinement to their home at Pine Avenue, Bayshore, Westmoreland. To surrender their passport and other travel documents. To surrender all firearm in their possession. To surrender all communication device. Not to communicate with persons outside the local address, whether directly or indirectly, without prior approval by the Commissioner of Police. And not to attempt to leave home without the prior permission of the Commissioner of Police. not permitted to have visitors. Trinidad and Tobago. If I have a friend, just saying, if I have a friend under a PDO, or a cousin, or a relative, or an in-law, this act today give me the same rights, the same human rights. I want you to understand, today, I have been given the same rights as the Hadids. Now, I want you to understand, I am not judging here, you know. I'm simply explaining to you what took place today. Is a ruling. So, not sufficient evidence. All right, good. What type of evidence? Listen to me carefully. What type of evidence other PDOs that was signed under Roger Alexander has for other detainees under the PDOs? I tell you, we opened a can of worms in Trinidad and Tobago and we didn't know, you know. After 90 days, they would have been released. But they spent almost 20 days incarcerated. Not sentenced, but they were held under the PDO. So Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to get ready now. All those other detainees under the PDO, their family who can afford a lawyer, will take a lawyer and challenge now the PDO that were issued to them in Trinidad and Tobago. How many of them will be going home under house arrest? But we will leave that for another day. That was just from me to all you. Open some eyes a little bit. Moving on, a legal document issued by the court relating to the People's National Movement having to explain where they got the money from to build Balize House had been officially served on the party's General Secretary, Foster Cummings, around 12:15 a.m. today as he returned to the country and stepped out of the airport. Police sources indicate no one, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, no one in the party wanted to accept the service. So nobody, no ministers in the PNM party wanted to accept the served document. I want you to keep in mind. It was the PNM who brought out the unexplained your wealth legislation and amendment to Trinidad and Tobago. Well, I remember when Colin Mimbert stood in Parliament and laughed. Well, I remember that. Now, when the document was being served, according to TDPS, nobody in the opposition wanted to be served with the document. What does that tell you? Marvin Gonzalez is saying the books belongs to the PNM and they do not have the right to show the public their financial records. That's on one hand. On the other hand, Penelope Beckles is saying we have nothing to hide. Contrary. Two people, two ministers, two opposition ministers saying two different things. One saying the book belongs to PNM and financial will not be made public. On the other side, we have the leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckles, telling Trinidad and Tobago, we have nothing to hide. They have nothing to hide, but nobody wants to take served with the document. What is happening? Why it is all the opposition members back in? Now we understand that Penny is out of the country, right? But Cummings returned to the country this morning and accepted service at the Piaco International Airport. Today, Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez stated that he was troubled by this development. Marvin, if you're in Trinidad and Tobago, according to the police, no PNM MPs wanted to get served with the document. If you are being troubled, why didn't you let TDPS come and serve you with the document and fix all the troubles? Why you didn't take it? Why you didn't stand up and say, you know what, serve me the document? Now you are saying you are troubled, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to Marvin.
On social media. The question I have to ask is, who took this picture? Was a reporter or reporters arranged with the police to meet the General Secretary to capture this shot? Was that photo taken by the police and given to the media? And if that is the case, for what purpose? I am troubled by this development. I have no objection whatsoever with the police doing what they're supposed to do. As a matter of fact, I was told that arrangement was made for the documents to be served at 1:30 today at Bali's house.
So Marvin, you were once Minister of National Security. You are not a police officer, but you were once Minister of National Security. So you, out of all people in Trinidad and Tobago, supposed to understand how that picture was taken. When I going to keep all your meeting, you always invite the press, you invite the police, you invite the community, you invite everybody. But today you have a problem now with that picture going public. The TDPS had a problem. You know what was their problem? No opposition MPs wanted to be served with the document. That was their problem. You have a problem with the picture going public? Brother, you have no problem. You are troubled. You should have been served with the document then and fix the troubles that you claim to be having. Out of a picture? Sad boy. That was under the belt shot. So listen to Trinidad and Tobago. Gonzalez also called on the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to state who gave them permission in regards to a video in circulation. Marvin, you had to be kidding me. You tell children, you tell parents, they had to carry out a children one time a month. You collected a 40% increase. And now you are asking TDPS who gave them permission. Marvin, come on, man, get real now, man. Like fright hitting you out. Your brain ain't functioning nice or what? You want to ask TDPS who gave them permission? TDPS is saying none of you wanted to be served with the documents from the court. How come? The court make a ruling and all of them step back? I thought all was ministers. I thought everybody saying the PNM have nothing to hide and all afraid to be served with that document. But now you're telling Trinidad and Tobago you're troubled. You're troubled. When you was telling parents to carry out their children one time for the month to eat macaroni pie, you wasn't troubled. But the court make a ruling and you troubled. Boy. Well, let's see how much trouble now the PNM in now. Because you had to produce documents now, you know. Now you have to produce documents. Ask about the concerns among the PNM executive. Gonzalez said the PNM is putting together a legal team. Listen to this.
Police must say and explain who took that picture.
There's not a picture, it's a video.
Or a video. Worse yet. Was it a member of the media or was it a law enforcement officer? And if it is a law enforcement officer, why was it leaked to the media and for what purpose?
Marvin, let me tell you something, Here what's going on. Here what's going on. You see that nonsense you want to come out and try and tell the public? You better put that in a garbage bag and put it by the roadside. Those words The police have to tell you. The police have to tell you nothing. The court was ordered. The police was ordered to drop that document to members of the PNM. But according to police, nobody didn't want to take it. All afraid. Court order. Everybody hyper now. Penelope out at Trinidad. Huh? The police had to answer nothing, Marvin. What all you have to answer, according to the court order, is what is written in the court order. That is what all you have to answer. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. Lots more to talk about when we return.
We'll be right back.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, I am glad that Marvin and the PNM is putting together a legal team to, to put the documents in order to be presented to the court. So, in some other news, former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith have stated that death threats are part of the course of leaders and should be dealt without public announcement. Griffith was commenting on the threat against Commissioner of Police Alyssa Grovero and his daughters. The threat was received by a police constable via the 999 hotline on July 11th. In response, Grovero said the threats are cowardly. Listen to this.
This is not a first. This has been going on for decades. When I held the position as military attaché to a prime minister, there were death threats as it pertained to that prime minister. The same thing when I was ADCAR to a president. And what it is we did is that we put proper security measures to be able to pinpoint the threat, to be able to verify whether the threat is authentic, and if so, neutralize the threat.
Now, viewers, there are also media reports of a plot to murder Public Utility Minister Barry Patharat and a further plot to assassinate Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and other government officials. He said that every time there is a death threat that is known to the public, it is given the perception that threat against public officials are new to national security. Listen to this.
So what we have seen is it has been going on for decades, both locally and internationally. And I think what is the problem here is that all of these threats now are being made known to the public, and it is causing some degree of sensationalism and even some degree of undue panic. I think the law enforcement agencies are very well trained. They understand how it is to look at each and every threat ascertain whether it is relevant, see if you can pinpoint the perpetrators, bring them to justice, and if it is that there is a clear and present danger to the lives of any senior official, whether it be law enforcement or government, it is the role and function of the law enforcement agencies to neutralize that threat.
Now, viewers, Gary Griffith said, in his capacity as military attaché to former Prime Minister Basil Pandey and former President Arthur Robinson, threats were made to both men, and he had to put extra security measures on both men. Now, he said, when he was a cop, there were at least 43 threats against him and his family. Also commenting on the threat was a regional security expert, Dr. Gavin Herrera, who said the recent threat against public officials should be treated as a matter of serious concern. Gavin.
You can see it where intimidation is increasingly being used now to influence public decision making. And if this is left unchecked, this has the potential to undermine public confidence in our democratic institutions and embolden, strengthen, and increase criminal elements. We must preserve now democratic accessibility while ensuring that those who serve the public can do so safely and without fear of or intimidation.
Now, viewers, switching gears, the Prison Officer Association of Trinidad and Tobago is warning that the public that provides unauthorized item to inmate is a serious offense. I will say this again. The Prison Officers Association of Trinidad and Tobago is warning the public that providing unauthorized item to inmates is a serious offense. Public Relations Officer of the association, Chris Guerrero, urged citizens to comply with prison regulation and avoid actions that could compromise the safety and security of correctional facility. The continued smuggling of contraband into prison facility, including the Raymond Yard and the maximum security prison. He said the issue remains a daily challenge for prison authorities.
It's a continuous fight that the prison service has, especially with rogue officers as well, being part of the issue. So it's an everyday challenge. Cell phones, of course, any sharp objects, there are a lot of things that could be described as contraband, even food items that not authorized. So, it's a wide varying amount of items, but it really boils down to the authority given to bring them in the prison service.
So, viewers, he also pointed to a specific piece of legislation, noting that anyone found facilitating such activity could face legal consequences.
Act 1508, which was amended, that is the Interception of Communication Act, breaks down how it is you communicate with inmates, especially via electronic means. You're not supposed to anything without authorization from the Commissioner of Prisons really and truly should not be happening. Anything that the Commissioner has not approved basically is against the law and subject to intervention from law enforcement based on the actions of the persons.
He also stated that prohibited item can include prescription drugs, food product, nail file, and mobile phone. Listen to this, viewers, one more time.
A cell phone is probably the preeminent method of communication these days. One can argue an inmate may just want to contact his family, but we have high-risk inmates who run criminal organizations, and the cell phone is the number one article used to control their network and get information. A cell phone could be used to intimidate witnesses on the outside.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed. You know, I don't understand, you know, this two-way thing from the PNM. You know, did they condemn because of the release of Mr. Hadid or whatever from, you know, they said the intelligence was bad and it was not good and it was improper intelligence. What about the intelligence of email gateway that Dr. Rowley had? Was it good? Was it good intelligence?
Correct.
What about what about the intelligence when he went to the president's house to derail the appointment of a commissioner of police? Was
Well
that good
said.
intelligence?
Well said.
Yeah, you know, so I can't understand this with him. So, you know, it raised the question again. So what in 10 years of PNM, what did they really, you know, now that all this evidence with regards to buying the houses, now they don't want to accept service. What about that, how much $3.4 billion, you know, in the auditor's report that cannot be accounted
Correct.
for?
Correct.
You know, all this thing with the CTEP and URP, billions and billions going to these contractors. What is it that when they was in office? What
Correct.
is it that they do right, sir? What is it they do right? You know, it's only corruption after corruption after corruption. You want to know what it is. Now they are coming out and condemning. You could imagine that issue with our government present, with that $3.4 billion in the housing project, which was not costing taxpayers anything. They had their own operative in place that to derail us. You know how much progress that would have made. Look at the Zoso bill again. You know, these people are obstructionists. Look at the relationship that the Prime Minister is trying to forge with Venezuela.
Yes.
You have children going across, and you know, on Bad Mountain, you have Emery Brown telling the Prime Minister that when you go to CARICOM, don't raise nothing about the Secretary General and this. And that now, that has gone to the CCJ. You know, these people, why can't they stay quiet? Is it that they are missing the treasury? You know, I'm calling on all right-thinking citizens, that they must not pay heed to the PNM. They must not, because all these things that the PNM did, and every day you see it is coming to light. So again, I'm appealing to these citizens, allow the government, support the government. It is good for the country. Forget political affiliation. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So, Trinidad and Tobago, presently we are in a situation here. We are in a situation. PNM and Balize House, PDOs with the Hadid, also Trinidad and Tobago. Every day, we hear some new corruption taking place. Every day, we hear of something new that has been released in the public domain. Every day, we hear about some new plotting taking place. So my thing is now is it that Roger Alexander is going to continue signing PDOs? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, how valid is this PDO now? Explain Your Wealth was established under the PNM administration. Under the PNM administration. Are they backing from their own legislation and amendment now? By nobody wanting to receive the served document by the court? Wow. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on, viewers. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call all our central or south branches today.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, remember, Real Talk Financing has 7%. We offer you that on a fixed deposit. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you a 7% Trinidad and Tobago on a fixed deposit. For a long time now, you had your savings put down and a lump sum. You don't want to touch it, but you have your house to repair. You want to make a down payment on a car. You have to put away money for the kids. You want to go for a vacation, but you don't want to touch your lump sum you have. You don't. So come down to Real Talk Financing. Inquire about our fixed deposit. We'll give you all the information on Trinidad and Tobago. And you could be on your way to doing everything you're supposed to do without touching your capital. Remember that. Only at Real Talk Financing. You can contact me at 339-1670 or 267-7325. Back in the news tonight, French ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Gualimi Pierre, has welcomed TNT election to the United Nations Security Council, saying the country will bring a vital Caribbean perspective to global discussions while strengthening cooperative between the two nations. Speaking at the Bastille Day celebration on Tuesday, he praised Trinidad and Tobago election to the United National Security Council, describing it as recognition for the country's diversity and leadership on the international stage. Listen to this.
We have been very happy to see Trinidad and Tobago be elected very widely to a seat in the United Nations Security Council. We are happy because we believe in the wisdom that lies here, in that country so diverse in its population, where every creed and race finds an equal place, that of a country that will carry a unique and necessary voice, the voice of a cultural powerhouse, the voice of the Caribbean, the voice of small islands, voices that must be heard.
Now, viewers, the ambassador stated that France share many of Trinidad and Tobago priorities for its Security Council term, adding that both countries are committed to working together on these global challenges.
The priorities that Trinidad and Tobago has chosen to work on during its term at the Security Council are meaningful and essential. Women, peace and security, fight against armed trafficking, regulation of artificial intelligence. All these priorities are shared by France. We share those priorities, and we are therefore looking forward to dialogue to working hand in hand and promoting common advocacy on these issues.
So now, viewers, the ambassador added that the long-standing relationship between France and Trinidad and Tobago provides a strong foundation for deeper collaboration. One more time.
I believe this will be, if not simple, let's say very natural. France and Trinidad and Tobago have a deeply rooted and high-quality relationship. From the arrival of French settlers more than 2 centuries ago, French people feel good here, and in their way contribute to the diversity and prosperity of Trinidad and Tobago.
So viewers, Trinidad and Tobago was selected to the Council on June 3rd, securing 181 of 191 votes at the UN headquarters in New York, a comfortable surpassing the required 2/3 majority. So it's a big leap for us, viewers, in the French nation. Congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago joining the Security Council. In other news tonight, the Trinbago Farmers Union, TFU, is seeking an urgent meeting with Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and key government officials to address growing concerns over the future of the Trinidad and Tobago dairy industry, aimed at the report that Nestles is seeking to diversify its local operation. Now, President of TFU, Shiraz Khan, warned that hundreds of dairy farmers, the national food security, and the survival of the country's remaining dairy industry are at risk if the company's milk collection system is discontinued. Khan called for discussion involving Prime Minister, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Trade, Labor and Education, as well as Nestle's representative, to determine a way forward for the sector. Khan said farmers were informed during meeting with Nestles that while a buyer had reportedly been identified for parts of the company operation, uncertainty remained over whether the company milk collection program will continue. He said, any sale of Nestle's operation should include guarantees that fresh milk collection from local farmers will continue. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the farmers in Trinidad and Tobago play a vital role. I want you to understand that. And if Nestles shut down that, there will be hundreds of farmers will be on the breadline. Also, what are they going to do with their animals? What is going to become of their livelihood? So, according to Nestles, a buyer has been identified, but let's just hope that if this buyer decides to buy whatever portion of Nestles are selling, let's hope that in that agreement, it states that they will have to keep the dairy part of it alive. Can also criticize Successive People's National Movement and the United National Congress administration, arguing that both parties failed to modernize the dairy industry. You know, such a sad thing, you know. It's such a sad thing. Imagine every day these farmers getting up early in the morning, seeing about their animals, milking their animals, organizing themselves to come down to Nestle to sell their product. Under the PNM administration, they always talk about agriculture and agriculture and agriculture. But has agriculture grown in Trinidad and Tobago? Because the export bill keeps going up. It keeps going up. So let's just hope this Minister of Agriculture, under this UNC administration, could make changes. So into other news tonight, viewers, residents of Moruga are denying allegation that they verbally abuse and chase away a Ministry of Works and Infrastructure crew sent to assess the repair of a large crater along Penal Rock Road, even as Works Minister Jolene John says ministry employees were threatened on 3 separate occasions. John said, the matter has now been formally reported to Police Commissioner Alistair Grovero. Despite the dispute, follows report highlighting residents' concerns over a collapsed culvert and a widening depression at 23.1 kilometer mark of the Penal Rock Road, which they said pose a serious danger to motorists and pedestrians. So that is the crater, what you are seeing there, viewers. Remove the CG now. Now, I want you to look at this crater. Look at that. Look at that train. There's a man going on there, for a fully grown man. Half of him went down inside there. That's a serious thing. Wow. Another resident, I won't call her name, rejected the ministry claim. The ministry has postponed or proposed temporary stabilization for the damaged road, while engineers designed a permanent replacement for the failed culvert. Look at that, Trinidad and Tobago. Look at that. That car actually went off the ground. The back wheel not even touching the ground. Meanwhile, residents continue to insist they want a permanent solution, saying the damaged culvert has deteriorated over time and remain a hazard to road users and nearby business. So if that is the case down there, look at the Trinidad and Tobago. There have to be some form of truth somewhere, you know. Is it that the individuals went down there from the ministry and they were chased away? Or is it that the citizen is not telling the truth? There's always two sides to our story. And what we need is the correct side. We need the correct side. Because that is an emergency. Look at that. Imagine if a child walking in the road and goes down in that. What about if you're passing there in the night and you fail to recognize the exact spot that crater in? What's going to happen? Caller, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, I want to touch on something there.
Tell me.
I see the Prime Minister and the government want to bring these data centers to the country, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, I see it have a petition passing around with, let's say, about 20,000 signed petitions.
I believe it was about 17,000 today.
Right. Now, I'm trying to figure out how much actual data center experts it have in the country now. And the kind of things they just petition now.
Correct.
No, I just trying to understand, right? Because I just want to refresh your memory a little bit real quick, right? On your petition and something that could come to the country and basically help the country move forward with jobs and things, right? Now, hear me out, when it is a certain PNM minister waive a multi-million-dollar bill for a water park in Shagaramot.
Yep.
Nobody didn't petition that.
Nah.
But I hear people talking concerning the water problem that this data center might cause to the country. But nobody didn't come out and petition the minister for waiving a multi-million-dollar bill for a water park.
Correct.
They're talking about electricity. Did anybody come out and petition the secret list that came out recently concerning TNTech?
See?
Anybody come out and petition that?
Nope.
Right, but you're coming out to petition something now that could possibly help your country. Anybody petition the government when they decide to close down Better?
Nope.
Nobody can do that. Come on, man, let's give the people a chance now.
Exactly. No.
Or they're not giving nobody a chance to do nothing.
No, caller. All the minister said is that they signed 3 memorandum of understanding.
Right.
They didn't lay down a plan. All they knew was that, you know what, $5 billion US coming to Trinidad and Tobago. We signed a memorandum of understanding with a data center. But the Prime Minister did not come out and give specific. So I was asking myself about how it is 17,000 people could sign a petition and they don't even understand what is taking place.
Let me tell you something, Sai. About 20 people out of 17,000 people must do research. And they must come up with stuff to fool the rest of people. Because there are a lot of Trinidadians in this countryside. They don't think for themselves, you know. They just need social media influencers to educate them, you know. That's the problem in this country. People don't understand. Well, let me tell you something. All there is what the country to become a first world country with third world mentality.
That is what.
It don't work like that. It don't work like that. If you want it, you had to work paid by it.
Correct.
You had to sacrifice to get it. And you just talk about sacrifice on your program?
Yes.
Well, maybe you should talk to the nation and tell them about sacrifice.
No, that is why on a previous show I asked these 17,000 people when the Prime Minister got a $50 million increase to entertain his ministers through entertainment, nobody said anything. When Marvin Gonzalez came out and tell them carry out a children one time for the month in macaroni pie, 17,000 people agreed.
Correct. Let me tell you something, Sai. I just telling you this from what I'm looking at from outside the whole situation. It have people in this country, no matter what this government do.
They don't work good.
If they get hired on that WhatsApp with $50,000 a month, it's still going to complain. No matter what the government do, they could never please certain people in this country.
Correct.
And we understand that.
Yeah.
Want to give the people a chance now. Anyhow, Sai, you enjoy your night, brother.
Thank you, my friend. Now imagine some constituencies getting water one time a week for the last 9 years and nobody petitioned nothing. I wonder if these 17,000 people that signed this petition using AI to make an ad to put on TikTok. I wonder. You see, nobody has said nothing. But you're protesting. You're signing a petition. Everybody wants to go AI, but they wouldn't want to store the AI. Out of that $5 billion US, they probably have plans to build a T&Tech site for electricity. They're probably going to dig a dam so that they would have water constantly to supply that system. But we so foolish, we so backward in this country. Imagine Trinidad and Tobago. The People's National Movement were voted in power for a second time by the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley told you to wean off the government, which means Allah cannot get nothing from the government. But nobody signed a petition. Nobody. They were quite okay getting nothing from the government. Negotiation can go forward. $50 million added on to entertainment. Stuart John picking up $1 million every month and heading Venezuela. Marvin Gonzalez telling us to carry out our children one time for the month. And it goes on and on and on. But you know what we petition? We petition a betterment for the country. That's what we petition. We don't want that. What about the young youth who's technicians? Computer technicians. You never know if your son could get through that technician's job. Or an OJT program decide to hire 5,000 youths and put them to help come up with ideas to construct the data center. We didn't know that. And let's say something now. Or let's petition something that or they have no idea of what the government put in place for the data center. Because nothing has revealed in the public domain but all a petitioning. So why allowed to petition this? The court ordered documents to be released by the PNM administration for Balize funding, the Balize House funding. And nobody in the PNM members, opposition side, wants to be served by the police with the document. How come nobody has petitioned that? Are you okay with that? And this is why I just always say, Saieed Ali is not affiliated with no political party. So when I come here, nobody can tell me, oh Saieed, you throw a stone in my glass house. Well, breaks because I'm going to put the boulders next time. Not a stone, a boulders. For 9 years, we have heard, tighten your belt, the country getting better. Ask Joe Chung how much millions of US he carried Venezuela. What was the outcome of that? What we got? What we got? Today, businessman can't even get in the US in the country to sustain their business for 17,000 people to go and buy from them. Nobody petitioned that. Because if the grocery shut down for the lack of US, you know we had to cut down on things we buy in the grocery. Nobody petitioned that. It goes to show how sensible we are in this country. And it goes to show how stupid we are at the same time. Trinidad and Tobago, this is us. This is us. We want to continue living in a third world. For instance, I'm going to talk about me now. We into the financial industry, right? And every time a new firewall or a security update comes up, if I ignore that, you know what will happen? My system will get weaker. It will get weaker. But if I enhance that system, it will always remain stronger. So every time a firewall come out, you read on it, you understand what it's for, and you apply it. It's obvious how to purchase it and apply it to make my firewall and my company stronger. So sometimes we must zip our mouth. Because I'll tell you this, the government ain't laid out nothing yet other than the memorandum of understanding for a $5 billion project of an AI data center. No information has revealed in the public domain other than that. Otherwise, SAI would have been telling you. Otherwise, SAI would have been going against it. It's sad. It's sad. 4 people died in a pipeline. Nobody petitioned. That could have been your son. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we're out of time for tonight. Be viewing another night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. for another Real Talk with Saieed as we go live on another night. Until then, be safe.